Hello, good morning, class 8. This is your second chapter, and the name of your chapter is Microorganisms, Friends and Foe. Friends and Foe. These two words have in its own a very vast meaning. Here in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the microorganisms. What is this? Why we are going to discuss this microorganisms, and why we are calling this microorganisms as a friend or a foe. Friend means which is familiar to human beings, and foe which cannot be a familiar mean through which we can say there is a chance of there is a dangerous chance it can harm the human being. In that case, it is term under the head of foe that it hamper the lifestyle of human being. That's why we are going to discuss this chapter. Here in this chapter, what we are going to discuss now, we can take it in a nutshell. First chapter content is microorganisms. So microorganism क्या होता है ये हम डिस्कस करेंगे. सेकेंड, वेयर डू माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म लिव. ये माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म रहते कहाँ हैं, इनका घर कहाँ है. हम जैसे अपने घर में रहते हैं वैसे ये कहाँ रहते हैं. माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म एंड अस, हमारा और माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म का क्या नाता है. ये हमारे दोस्त भी हैं और ये हमारे दुश्मन भी हैं. Here they are friend and they are foe also. So we are going to discuss here what is the relation between we people with the microorganisms. And fourth one is it's harmful to the humankind, and food preservation and nitrogen fixation. These are few topics which we are going to discuss in this chapter, second chapter of your syllabus, Nate. And the name of the chapter is microorganism, friend or foe. So in this chapter, beta, we are going to start with the microorganisms. Microorganisms को हम लोग microbes भी कहते हैं. We will call them as a microbes. Microbes, why? Because they are very small in size, very small that we cannot see through our naked eyes. अपनी आँखों से, इस आँखों से हम उन्हें देख नहीं पाते हैं, नंगी आँखों से हम उन्हें देख नहीं पाते हैं. They are so small. They are very tiny organisms. They may be unicellular or they may be a multicellular. ये unicellular और multicellular दोनों भी हो सकते हैं, या they may be only a unicellular, single cellular भी हो सकते हैं. They exist as cell cluster. ये कई सेल क्लस्टर, छोटे छोटे सेल को मिला के ये एक बन सकते हैं. दे कैन एग्जिस्ट इन दैट वे ऑल्सो. सो दे आर ऑफ यूनिसेलुलर, मल्टीसेलुलर और एग्जिस्ट एज अ cell cluster. Now we are going to discuss in our syllabus about the four major groups of this microorganism. Right now I have said four major groups. One is your bacteria, second one is your fungi, third one is your algae, and fourth one is your protozoa. So first one is your bacteria, second one is your fungi, third one is your algae, and fourth one is your protozoa. There are four main types of this microorganism, and there is one more which is very important, which we are going to discuss, that is the virus. Virus is the fifth one. So we have to discuss about the first four and then last that fifth one here in this chapter. So the four major groups, in that it is defined. Bacteria in cellular form we call it as a bacterium. जब हम सेलुलर फॉर्म की में बात करेंगे तो इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ बैक्टीरियम, एंड व्हेन वी आर कॉलिंग एज अ प्लूरल नंबर्स दैट इज अ बैक्टीरिया. बैक्टीरिया आर सिंगल सेल ऑर्गेनिज्म विद डिफरेंट शेप एंड साइज. ये सिंगल सेलुलर होते हैं और इसके जो शेप और साइज हैं वो वैरी करते हैं. इट्स डिफरेंट, कहीं बड़े होंगे कहीं छोटे होंगे. लाइकवाइज इट मे बी डिफरेंट. दे आर फाउंड इन एवरीवेयर. ये हमें हर जगह मिल जाएंगे बट हम उन्हें देख नहीं पाएंगे. एज आई डिस्कस, दे आर सो टाइनी, वेरी स्मॉल. सो इट इज प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर, इन सॉइल, इन वाटर, इन एयर. So we can find it everywhere, but we cannot see them through our naked eyes. So if we cannot see them through our naked eyes, so that's why we are discussing here in this chapter. They are friend and they are foe. If they are friend, they are good for us. If they are good for us, it's present everywhere. It is very nice. But if it is harmful to humankind, in that case, if it is present everywhere, so it can harm our body. It can harm human being. It can harm living organisms. That is plant, animal, any one of them. So this two topics was very easily covered. That bacteria, in singular we can call it as a bacterium. They are of single cell organism and different shapes and size. Then they are found everywhere in the body, in the body, in the universe, in the atmosphere, and they are living in the body of other organism also. It don't have a well defined structure with nucleus. Just like nucleus, it don't have a well defined structure. तो बैक्टीरिया कोई स्ट्रक्चर डिफाइन नहीं है, बट एज आई हैव डिस्कस ये हमारे लिए फ्रेंड भी हैं, एंड इट इज़ आवर इन सम सेंस इट इज़ नॉट गुड फॉर द ह्यूमन बीइंग ऑल्सो. सो स्फेरिकल शेप, रॉड शेप, स्पाइरल शेप and comma shape. Like this 4 shapes we can find this bacteria. If we are discussing about the spherical shape, in that case it is called as a cocci. C-O-C-C-I. Cocci is of a spherical shape. When we are discussing about the rod-like structure, if I am discussing about the rod-like structure, it is called bacilli. B-A-C-I-N-I. Bacilli. Bacilli is of a rod-like structure, which is we can call it as a cylindrical structure also. Spherical shape is spirina, and the comma shape is called vibrio. Vibrio, V-I-B-R-I-O, vibrio. So this is are of four types. Now we are going to discuss about little bit more about this bacteria. That as we are aware, anything which is present in the atmosphere, which is present in the surrounding, which is present in the atmosphere, it can be good for us and it can be bad for us. It have the both way possible. उसके दोनों प्रभाव हो सकते हैं, अच्छे और बुरे. Just like a coin of a face of a coin. So here in this chapter we are going to discuss about some good bacteria and some bad bacteria. Good bacteria are Lactobacillus and Rhizobium. Lactobacillus and Rhizobium are some kind of bacteria which is good for the humankind, which as we have discussed in the last chapter, Rhizobium, it is present, it takes the help of the plant root, it go and stick near the plant root, and it provide nitrogen to the plant through that root nodules. So in that through that root nodules, this Rhizobium stick to it, and with the help of those bacteria, whatever the nitrogen present in the atmosphere, it can be get directly to the plant. So here we can say this is a good bacteria. There are some good bacteria which are friends of us, and there are also some bacteria those who are not good for us. So they can be also present in the atmosphere, in the environment, as we have discussed. So these are called as foe for the humankind. They are not good for the earth. They may provide some kind of disease to the human being, and we are familiar with few more examples of those. That is cholera, tuberculosis, diphtheria. These are some kind of bad bacteria which is present in the environment and which will harm the surrounding of our environment. And if it is present in the environment, it can harm the society also. It can harm the human being. It can harm the living organism like plant and animal also. Then after this we are going to discuss about the second major group, that is the fungi. Fungi is, when we call it in a singular form, it is called as a fungus. And when we are going to discuss about whole of this fungus or fungi, we have to come to understand few things very interestingly. That non-green substance, this is non-green substance which can be found in dead and decaying matter or from the other living organism. Fungi may be unicellular or it may be a multicellular. जैसे कि अभी हमने डिस्कस किया, just like here in that bacteria, it is also of single cell organism, so it is unicellular. But here in this fungi, it is multicellular or it is a single cellular. Most of the fungi have a cotton-like thread structure found in it, and single thread and the cluster of thread. Single thread is called hyphia, and the cluster of those hyphia called is a mycelium. So mycelium is the cluster of the group of all those single thread, and single thread called is hyphia. Rhizopus, yeast, and this mushroom, penicillin, these are some kind of fungi. For this yeast and penicillium, these are two which are good for the human being, that they are friend for the humankind, these living beings. So they are called as friend also. And other, those I have discussing right now, rhizopods, mushroom, they are also, we are going to have that in our diet. But as I discussed, yeast and penicillium are the friend for the human being. They are useful, they are friend. And some fungi called disease like structure, that is athleate food and ringworm in human beings. So they can hamper the environment. They can provide diseases to the human being, to the living organism. Now we are going to discuss the third one. Third one is our algae. Algae, you are aware about this algae, that you have seen a green or dark green patches near the stagnant water. This green color substance which is present near the water bodies. So due to its presence near the water bodies, we can here easily say that this is some kind of microorganism which loves to live near the wet areas. So that's why we can call it as an aquatic organism also. Aquatic organism which loves to live near the wet areas. And here, as we have discussed, it has a green color patches which can be found near the water bodies, the stagnant water bodies or near those water bodies. So this gets a green color due to the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll and fulfill the requirement of the photosynthesis. This is also we have discussed in the previous class in our first chapter. So it has a green color substance which is just because of the chlorophyll, which is again come with the result of the photosynthesis. So it gets the color green, which is due to those chlorophyll and the whole process of the photosynthesis. It is also of a cellular, so it is a unicellular and it is also a multicellular. It has both unicellular and multicellular capacity. Unicellular, this algae is known as our domanos, and multicellular is called Sporogea. Sporogea is a Sporogea and a deep blue green color algae. Deep blue green color algae is also one of the good algae which is present in the atmosphere, and it could provide a nitrogen fixation to the atmosphere. So atmospheric nitrogen fixation is possible with this. So this is something which we are going to discuss here about the phenomena of algae. So algae gets its green color just because of the chlorophyll. It has unicellular and it has this multicellular. What is unicellular? What is multicellular? Now the next is the protozoa. Protozoa, when we are talking about the protozoa in a singular form, it is called as a protozoan. It also likes to live near the wet area. So you can find it in the soil also and near the water bodies also. So protozoa is also a primitive and animal-like microorganism which is found of or which can found in nearby moist areas, freshwater lakes, stagnant ponds or pool-like places. We can find this protozoa. Protozoa are mostly unicellular in nature. It is unicellular in nature and different shapes. Unicellular, different in nature. Some example of protozoa which we can discuss here, it's amoeba, it's euglena. Then we can discuss about the paracium. So these are some kind of the example which we can discuss under the head of the protozoa. Irregular shape, when we are discussing about the amoeba. When we are discussing about the spindle shape, it is the euglena. And when we are discussing about the snipper-like shape, it is called paramecium. Paramecium is snipper-like shape. We can discuss about this, and I will provide you the pictures and figures of all those. So some of the protozoa are parasites which can be live on somebody some else body to survive. For getting its own survival, they have to depend upon other. They comes under the head of parasite. This is also we have discussed in our earlier classes. So like malaria, it is caused by the plasmodium. Like dysentery, this is also caused by the amoeba in human. So this is some kind of protozoa which can provide some ill effect to the human being. They can also provide some kind of bad effect. They are harmful to living organisms. So we have discussed about the protozoa also. Now the fifth one is the virus. Virus are the very smallest microorganisms that cannot be seen through our naked eyes. These bacteria also, or all of the above four, they cannot be seen through our naked eyes. But here in this case of virus, we have to depend upon some more micro substance through which we can see it. So here in this, if we are going to discuss about the virus, we have to depend upon an electron microscope. An electron microscope is the best electroscope through which we can trace this virus. They grow and multiply only inside the living organisms. Living organisms like animal, plant, and human being. So they depend upon something. If they are present, they are also present in everywhere, but they are of no use. They are just like a dead piece. But when they come in the contact of the living cell, in that case they start growing, they start multiply. When bacteria remains outside, it is inactive, it don't have its life existence. But as it gets a host cell, it reaches to the host cell, it start multiplying. जैसे कि आप लोग अभी सुन रहे हैं about the corona virus, this is also a virus. It is of no use if it is spread everywhere. But if it comes in the contact of the human being, it gets inside the body of the human being through nose, through eyes, and through their mouth. And if it gets inside the body, it gets a host on which he can live upon. So he is this virus has its life only on another people, only on another living being. If there is no living being, the virus have no existence. They are of different shape. Viruses are always being harmful to the human. They are always harmful to the animal and the plant also. They cause many diseases to them, just like cold, cough, flu, measles, polio, chickenpox, AIDS. These are some examples of viruses. AIDS, the full form of AIDS is AIDS, acquired, I, immune, D, deficiency, and S, syndrome. AIDS stand for all these, and in this AIDS, the body's resistance power to fight the disease it just decreases. And why it start decreases? Just because these viruses get capturing their whole body structure, they can take the they just grab the initial stage inside the body, and when it reaches to the body, the body has to perform some function for the living organism, but they hamper those functions and they start multiplying. They utilizing those functions for developing them itself. So virus start developing with the function which is used for the body to grow. In that case, the body's immune power, the fighting back resistance power will start decreasing, and if it start decreasing, the people might be reach to its death also. So these are some diseases which can be discussed in the human being also, and we can see all these diseases, and we will get the vaccine for these diseases. But here in this case of corona, till now we are not getting the vaccination. So virus need a host, and on those host people it start grow, it start multiply. So here we have to keep in our mind, we just take things accordingly, and we have to understand that how we have to survive and how we have to save our lives. So till now, for this we have wind up. This is the topic which we have covered, and please, it's your duty to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon, like button also. If you are doing so, you may get all the valuable videos which I am going to upload in YouTube. It will reaches to your mobile as a notification immediately. Thank you, take care, bye bye. अपना ध्यान रखो, अपना स्वास्थ्य का ध्यान रखो, अपने परिवार का ध्यान रखो, and most important, respect your love you बेटा.